Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. Before we have a closer look at all the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game and improve it even more, scan the QR code that is here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy you can find in the description down below. That will take you to our platform where you can find all our premium guides, checkpoint challenge, tour play, and tournament play. Last but not least, the info box on the right hand side gives you the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1 here, I would say like this: if you're gonna have any sort of decent chance for an eagle, you're gonna have to push it hard. And I'm pushing it hard by using my big topper and using a power 5 ball. You don't have to. You can obviously play with another club and another ball and bounce over the rough and the sand as equally good. But what I'm after is that I want to play a backspin shot on the second shot by avoiding having to bounce on that very weird slope that is by the green, right? Max plus 10, and I'm using some overpower as well, especially low level big toppers are going to have to use overpower just to compensate. Now we're getting the ball to get past that rough patch on the left, which is good. Now we are in range and we know we can use the backspin shot. You can see I'm using all the backspin and a little left spin. Now the difficult part is obviously that I don't have a fully developed ball guideline, so I'm gonna have to guess where the rollback is coming. But once again, the way of playing this type of shot is so much easier and so much better chance than having to bounce before the rough and the sand and having to bounce or even just after the sand on that downhill slope. So I strongly recommend to push it hard here, but if you're just interested in a birdie and not want to waste a power 5 ball, then you can just play it, safer and get yourself to green and take your birdie and move on. On hole number 2 here, I value going with backspin. I do that in all the divisions, and the reason for it is because the hotter we come into the green, the more likely it is that we come in too hot for the ball to stop and roll in the hole. So therefore, I'm playing with the Guardian. I do have Guardian level 4 here, playing from max line with a power 1 ball. Adjustment max plus a 10 P1, and here in this example you will see me hit perfect, and you will see the ball get onto the green, and you will notice that the speed is really good, because that's once again the key on this par 3 is to have the correct speed coming onto the green. You see it bounces a little bit too much backspin though, as it do fall left of the pin. We do want to catch the big funnel, which we do if we do have the correct amount of backspin. So that is the key. Get the correct backspin, then you will have good speed and the ball will roll in the hole. Hole number 3 is actually very boring if you do not have a good club and good ball. Now I'm wasting a good ball here, which in the end wasn't necessary, but what I'm looking for here now, as I feel that I don't have the curl on my club and I then can't really bounce on that pad and getting over and having a long iron towards the pin, I'm laying up, I'm taking my eagle and I'm running to the next hole. Now if I would decide to get the quarterback or the rock for better accuracy and a better ball guideline, especially when I do want to avoid going into the bunker, because it's so unnecessary to risk that, especially when we're playing a safe play. Max plus 10 is the adjustment. Second shot, I'm playing with my sniper using 2 bars of topspin and 3 right spin. What I'm looking for here now is to use the curl on my sniper and just curl the ball up towards the pin. If you're lucky with a great right or just having more curl, then you can get yourself attacking the pin. But this is going to be mainly a safe way of getting the eagle, where you leave yourself with a short wedge or a putt. If you want to push it from the left hand side and want to go for a rough bump from distance, you're going to have to play with a wood club that do have a lot of power and also a power 5 ball. And that's not really something I would like to waste here, because I feel that that shot is still going to be difficult to drop. Hole number 4, we're gonna go for a rough bump, and here the important part is to actually locate to if you adjust to a higher or to a lower point. What I mean with that is the game's mechanism work that if you pull to a higher point than where you started, you're gonna gain distance when the ball flies in the air. If we do pull to a lower point, then we are going to lose distance, and that's something that is, this hole is specifically designed with that in mind, because if wind coming left to right, we're going to pull to a higher point. If wind come right to left, we're going to pull to a lower point, and that all needs to be compensated for. Here we pull down into the bunker, which means that I don't really have to compensate for anything because it kind of compensates itself with that. So spin to be slightly short in tailwind and getting ourselves a nice hole-in-one here on hole number 4. Rough bump, in my opinion, is the best play to consistently attack for an hole-in-one, but if you're not interested in that, bounce on the fairway before all the rough in the bunker and get yourself the easy birdie. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for the Regal Ruckus and 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the Game. A full 9 of the Old Bridge Park, where we are only going to play them in tailwind. So that's going to be very interesting, and especially now with the winter major coming up as well, it's a perfect chance to get into the mix by signing up for any of our premium guides. Checkpoint challenge, tour play, tournament play, you name it, we have something for everyone, which is also the only place that only has that too. Scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy that is in the description down below. Another long and tough par 5. If we're gonna have any sort of decent chance for a drop here, we're gonna have to push the drive hard on the right hand side, and that I will do to give you an example, because I don't just want to give you an example here where we lay up and taking the safe eagle. I'm using a big topper here as I do want to have more topspin than what I do have on my X-Mile level 6. Aiming for the third bounce to go into the rough, because I want to bounce, and roll, and I want to get myself here on the fairway. This is a risky drive. Any bad grades and stuff like that will be a problem, but again, we need to push it hard if we're gonna have a chance on the second shot. Now we can either go for a rough bump, or we're gonna have to have topspin though. I don't have topspin, so I kind of have to retract and I have to go back, and then we're gonna play true distance with a 15% elevation power 5 ball settings. I'm leaving the ball guideline slightly short to compensate for the extended ball guideline that we do have here on our sniper. And again, playing with the sniper has its value, as we do want to have the ball guideline, because if we are not interested in having the ball guideline here, we could just equally play with the big dog or with a cataclysm and give ourselves a much easier way of getting the ball down towards the green. Perfect ball it is, and we bounce on the fairway up towards the pin, and we're getting very close here on this, getting very close here on hole number 5. Hole number 6, one of the, I mean, it's super boring, this par 4. It's a par 4, yes it is, and it has a lot of water. So, which means that the only way you can attack the pin here, as we can't bounce over all the water, we don't have the club, we don't have the wind, we don't have the ball. So, in that way, we're going to have to lay up on the left, and that's going to leave us a wood club towards the pin. As best, and that's going to be a rough bump with a very inaccurate club, which is going to be very difficult as well. So here you will see just a way of getting a safe birdie here by using the quarterback, which has a good accuracy, which will help if we do hit great off tee. I like to use the quarterback, especially when you do have lower level clubs such as extra miles in lower levels that do have a bad accuracy. A great ball there could cost you a lot. So now I'm just using to rough bump out here. As I don't have a good ball guideline with my big dog, I mean, yeah, I don't have a good ball guideline, so I don't really know where I'm aiming. I'm using 3 top spin and a little bit of left spin. Here in hindsight, we should be using a little bit more, but in the end, we're using max +5 as adjustment and bouncing into the rough and roll out. If once again, a lot of ifs and buts, but on this par 4, I mean, you can decide if you want to go heavy on the special balls and stuff like that and push the drive maybe harder to the right, maybe play with a sniper if you have it at level 10 and stuff like that. But in the end, very boring and tough par 4 here, hole 6. Hole number 7 is a very tough par 3, and the reason for that is because it's so long. Even from front tee, we can't even reach for the rough bump with our sniper, which is very very weird in this game, because many of the par 3s we can even reach with a long iron many of the time. So here I decide to bounce on the fairway over all the rough, not trying to do a skinny rough bump here, trying to align the ball with the ball guideline with the pin. Here you can see that I'm playing with a pretty big 12-1, as I don't I'm not paying attention. Max plus 10, and without the 12-1 we would pull ourselves more left, which means that we would be getting ourselves closer towards the hole. Now we're coming with good speed, and in a worst case scenario we're getting ourselves a birdie. I would recommend to play with a ball with a lot of wind resistance, because that's easier than to control, so you don't have to mess around. Because if you're making a mistake here, there is definitely a risk of having a very long putt, or you're getting stuck in the rough or sand. Hole number 8 is a good chance in my opinion. Use all the 3 left spin together with 3 top spin, get the ball guideline to go down the center of the fairway. I'm using the quarterback once again, which I've seen me using plenty in this playthrough. And once again, the reason is due to the accuracy. Because I do not want myself to be punished if I do hit a great left or great right. Or at least not, risk something. When it comes to the second shot, playing with the Goliath, and I'm doing a rough bump. The rough bump might not be your favorite way of playing, but as always, if I can find a solid ball guideline towards the hole, then I'm gonna play that way instead of going without a ball guideline and bouncing up and having somewhat to guess if I'm aiming at the hole or not. No elevation. No elevation here on the second shot, and I'm using a true distance, which is wherever you are with your club. If you are in medium distance, you're using medium distance. If you are in max, you're using max, and so forth. So, adjustment. And then we are center the ball. And we want to hit. Perfect. Perfect ball here will have a good chance, but as always, when it comes to the Goliath here, Goliath is most definitely not the best one to have. We'd love to have a Grizzly in a high level, but can't get it all, right? But close enough, getting ourselves an eagle on hole 8. Another long par 5, and this is, I would say, this is super difficult to get an eagle here. And I'm saying eagle, not the albatross, because I'm actually not counting with making an albatross with the clubs that I do have on my rookie account. What I'm doing though is that I'm using the big dog off tee because I want to use it on the second shot. I also want to play with a power 5 ball. Yeah, I've used a lot of power 5 balls here in this playthrough, but the holes here is so long, and the Old Bridge Park is very difficult if you don't have the ball or the club to get yourself the extra power. When it comes to the second shot, we're gonna play around the trees on the left. You can't play through the trees because you don't have the power. So I'm using 2 right spin, and in the end I'm using 3 backspin, because my goal here now is to get myself on the green. And sometimes I'm not gonna get myself on the green. I'm gonna be for a wedge, and that's totally fine. But in a best case scenario, we land it on the green and we get ourselves a nice putt here, and getting myself an eagle on a tough par 5 here to end up with as hole number 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. If you do want to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. Last but not least, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Those 3 things will help the channel immensely. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in the Golf Clash game.